Hey guys, Michael Summers, Esports Advisors, just touching base with you to make sure that you are taking the appropriate steps to ensure a successful career in esports. Today I want to focus on a couple things that a lot of my clients have brought to my attention over the past couple weeks as they've been gearing up for this very exciting World Cup qualifying series that begins this weekend, leading up to the New York event. Hopefully we're going to get a couple of you guys in there and make that 50 grand just for qualifying. So we're going to go over a couple tips today that's going to help you get closer to achieving that goal. Now, the thing that I've been hearing, which is a big problem from a few of my clients over the past couple weeks as they're playing in the Lux Cup, the warm-up cup of last week, is that they're losing focus and they're getting bored mid-game in these three-hour tournaments. Right? So whenever I hear about boredom and losing focus, an immediate red flag goes up because that's not good. It's impossible to play at your peak performance when you aren't focused. All right? So the biggest secret to remaining focused and performing at your optimal level is to be able to remain cool, calm, and collected. I refer to it as the 3 seed. You see, when your mind drifts, whether you're thinking about the past or the future, you get nervous, okay? And when you get nervous, your muscles tense up, you lose confidence, and your game goes down the tubes. This is referred to as choking, right? So when you're choking, you're unable to move at the level that you want to as far as being relaxed and making those shots, getting that aim down pat. So it's very important to remain cool, calm, and collected. Now we're going to talk about the main, how you can remain cool, calm, and collected. Now, in my program, the 3 seed, which we're going to get into here in a second, the key is recognizing the difference between practicing and performing when it counts the most, and that, of course, is in a tournament. You see, when you practice, you're using the front end of your brain, okay? And when you're performing in a tournament play, it's in the hindbrain. Okay, now the difference between the two is quite simple. When you use your hindbrain, it's about building muscle memory, okay? When you use the back of the brain, it's natural instinct. So if I throw a ball at you, you're immediately going to go up and grab it. That's natural instinct. In tournament play, you want to be using the back of the brain, okay? And the things we're talking about here is things to help you develop the back of the brain. Now, I've worked with a lot of golfers as a sports psychologist, and the main thing that I've noticed between golf and Fortnite, there's a lot of commonalities. You get a lot of good breaks and you get a lot of bad breaks, okay? For instance, in golf, you could be hitting a horrible shot that could be going out of bounds and could hit a tree and go in the middle of the fairway. Fortnite, you could be running low on mats and you could get zoned. A bad thing in Fortnite would be, you get third-partied. Right? In golf, you'd hit a good shot and it could hit a sprinkler head and bounce off into the water or something like that, right? So it's the mental aspect of it is how you handle these good breaks and the bad breaks. There's a famous golfer, Bobby Jones, who is the founder of Augusta National, which just happens to be Masters Week this week, my favorite week of the year. He had a quote that said, "Golf is played on a 5-inch course, the distance between your ears." Right? I mean, that's a great quote because it's all here. It's in your mind. Your ability to perform, you have to beat yourself up in the mental game before you can even think about beating somebody else. So mentally, in any game, is the most important thing. So let's talk about the 3 seed program. First and foremost, you have to remain in the now. The now is not thinking about anything else, not thinking about the past, not thinking about the future. It's just thinking about your game and focusing on your game. Because when you think about the past and the future, what happens is you're losing focus and you tense up, and again, that's when you start losing confidence. Okay, so the first thing is remaining in the now. The second point is recognizing when you drift, when your mind drifts. Even the best Buddhist monks in the world, while they're meditating, their mind is going to drift a little bit, okay? But the key, and the key component which differentiates some of the good players from the bad players, is recognizing when their mind drifts and bringing it right back, okay? Because your mind is going to drift, okay? But you have to pick up on it, because your mind drifting isn't what gets you nervous. It's the inability to recognize how long you haven't been focused, and that's when you get nailed. Okay, so remember, it's going to happen, but boom, you got to bring it right back into the now. Focus on the game. Focus on the game. The third thing is focusing on your game, and you'll understand what I mean here in a second, and not worrying about anybody else. Your job, you have to focus on doing your job, and that is surviving this game, getting through this game, right? So when you're thinking about your opponent, or when you're thinking about your duos player and how they're performing, you're not focusing on yourself, right? So we can't think about the opponent. You could say, oh, this guy's a bot. I'm going to come up behind him and grab him. No, you don't know that, okay? You got to think of them, and he's qualified. So all these guys are good players, right? So there's no bots here. They're all great players, and you got to treat them as such. You don't know who's on the other side of that computer screen. So remember, they're all experts, just like you. You can't worry about your opponent. You can't worry about what your duos player is. You have to do your job and focus on yourself. Again, 3 things. Stay in the now, recognize when your mind drifts, and boom, get it right back into the focus. Right back into the focus. And third, do not think about anybody else except yourself and performing on your job. Again, Michael Summers with Esports Advisors. Just want to make sure that you're taking the appropriate steps to ensure a successful career in esports. I do have some great materials, and we are expanding our business and hoping to bring on more clients. In fact, one of the things that we're doing is pretty cool is that hit this link below. I have this cool program. We are going to be choosing 5 duo players that we're going to be documenting and assisting throughout the 10-week qualifying series. What we're going to be doing is documenting the ups and downs of this